Gunther Prien was one of the most well-known German submarine commanders of the Second World War, remembered especially for his daring mission into the British naval base at Scapa Flow. His life, while often wrapped in wartime myth-making, can be understood more clearly by looking at his early years, his rise within the Navy, his achievements as a U-boat commander, and the circumstances surrounding his disappearance. This biography presents his story to give a clear picture of who he was and how he became a symbol of Germany's early wartime success beneath the waves. Gunther Prien was born on January 16, 1908, in the small German town of Osterfeld. His family did not come from wealth or special status, and his childhood was shaped by the difficulties that followed the First World War. Germany was struggling economically, and young people like Prien grew up in an atmosphere of social tension and national uncertainty. Despite these challenges, he developed an early fascination with the sea. He read about ships, navigation, and exploration, and he often imagined a life at sea as an escape from the troubles around him. This interest would eventually guide his entire career. As a teenager, Prien sought out opportunities to work on ships. He joined merchant vessels, gaining first-hand experience with the demanding rhythms of life on the ocean. His early time in the merchant marine taught him discipline, teamwork, and the ability to remain calm when conditions turned rough. These traits would later become crucial to his survival and success as a submarine commander. The years he spent sailing between ports also gave him a strong understanding of navigation and ship handling, knowledge that served him well when he entered the Navy. Prien joined the Reichsmarine, the Navy of the Weimar Republic, in the early 1930s. Germany at this time was rearming and rebuilding its military forces, and the Navy offered structure, purpose, and advancement for someone with his passion for the sea. He trained rigorously, learning naval strategy, ship systems, and leadership. When Germany began expanding its submarine program, Prien volunteered, drawn to the challenge and mystery of underwater warfare. Submarines were small, cramped, and dangerous, but they also offered independence, responsibility, and a chance to make a major impact with relatively small crews. By the late 1930s, Prien had risen to command his own submarine, U-47. He quickly gained a reputation for being methodical, confident, and level-headed. His crews later recalled that he balanced strict discipline with genuine concern for their well-being. He understood that the success of a submarine depended on trust and cooperation, because even a small mistake in the depths of the ocean could be fatal. Under his leadership, U-47 began patrols in the North Atlantic just before and after the outbreak of the Second World War. Prien's fame came from a single mission that remains one of the most audacious submarine attacks in naval history. In October 1939, only weeks after the war began, he was selected to lead a raid into Scapa Flow, a major anchorage of the British Royal Navy located in the Orkney Islands. The base was heavily defended and considered nearly impossible for an enemy submarine to enter. The waters were shallow and treacherous, the channels narrow, and the patrols constant, but German intelligence believed that British battleships might be vulnerable there, and Prien was chosen because of his skill and calm under pressure. In the early hours of the morning, Prien carefully guided U-47 through the defensive barriers and into the anchorage. It was an extremely risky operation, requiring precise navigation in darkness and silence. Once inside, he located a target, the battleship HMS Royal Oak. Prien fired torpedoes that struck the ship, and within minutes the Royal Oak was heavily damaged and beginning to sink. The attack caused significant British casualties and shocked the Royal Navy, which had believed Scapa Flow to be secure. U-47 escaped back through the same narrow passages and returned safely to Germany. The mission made Prien a national hero almost instantly, and he became a symbol of German naval daring in the early war years. Following the Scapa Flow attack, Prien continued to command U-47 on patrols in the Atlantic. His submarine targeted Allied shipping in an effort to disrupt supplies traveling to Britain. These missions were long, exhausting, and dangerous. Submarine crews had to endure cramped quarters, stale air, and constant risk from enemy aircraft and destroyers equipped with sonar and depth charges. Despite these hardships, Prien maintained strict routines and kept his crew motivated. His ability to remain calm in moments of crisis helped U-47 survive several difficult encounters. Over the next year and a half, Prien and his crew sank numerous merchant ships, making U-47 one of the most successful German submarines of the early war. Each patrol increased his status within the Navy, but it also added to the strain on both him and his men. Submarine warfare was becoming increasingly deadly as the Allies improved their detection and defense techniques. By 1941, U-boat commanders knew that their chances of surviving many more patrols were shrinking. In early March 1941, Prien embarked on what would become his final mission. U-47 set out into the North Atlantic as part of a coordinated group of submarines. Reports from this period indicate that the Allies were intensifying their anti-submarine efforts, using aircraft, escort ships, and improved sonar to locate U-boats. The ocean had become a far more hostile environment than it had been in 1939. U-47 was last heard from on the night of March 7, 1941. The exact circumstances of its loss remain uncertain. Some historians believe that the submarine was sunk by British destroyers during a nighttime attack, while others suggest that it may have been destroyed by a mechanical failure or a sudden accident, such as a torpedo malfunction. No confirmed wreckage has ever been identified, and the full story of what happened during U-47's final moments is still unknown. Prien and his entire crew were declared missing and presumed dead. Gunther Prien's legacy is shaped by both his skill as a naval commander and the propaganda of the time. In Germany during the war, he was celebrated as a heroic figure, and the Scapa Flow raid was highlighted as a symbol of Germany's naval courage. After the war, historians have examined his life with greater distance, recognizing both his achievements and the broader context of a conflict driven by destructive ideology and political ambition. Prien himself did not seek public fame. His writing and interviews suggest that he saw himself as a professional sailor fulfilling his duty. His crews respected him not only for his tactical ability, but also for his fairness and clear communication. Today, Prien is remembered as one of the most notable submarine commanders of the early Second World War. His life reflects the complex nature of military service in a time of global conflict. He rose from modest beginnings, developed his skills through hard work, and became a central figure in a dramatic moment in naval history. At the same time, his story is tied to a destructive regime and a strategy that caused tremendous loss of life at sea. Understanding Prien requires acknowledging both his personal qualities and the broader consequences of the war in which he fought. Although his career was brief, ending when he was only 33, his impact on naval warfare was significant. The Scapa Flow attack demonstrated how a single submarine could threaten even the most secure naval bases, forcing navies around the world to rethink their defenses. His patrols in the Atlantic contributed to the intense struggle over control of vital supply routes, and his disappearance serves as a reminder of the dangers faced by those who fought beneath the ocean's surface, where a single mistake or stroke of misfortune could mean instant destruction. Gunther Prien's biography is ultimately the story of a determined and capable officer whose life became intertwined with one of the most turbulent periods in modern history. His achievements at sea were the product of skill, discipline, and an ability to lead under extreme pressure. His death, like that of many who served in submarines, came without warning and without survivors to tell the final story. What remains is a legacy marked by both courage and tragedy, reflecting the broader human cost of the conflict in which he played a famous part. Thanks for watching. If you have a thought regarding Gunther Prien, drop it in a comment below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe,